Hello.
Hey, what are you doing?
Sorry, I was just digging through the dirt.
Don't you know you have to educate yourself in proper underground locating procedures before you do any horizontal boring?
What do you mean, Gopher Gus?
Well, sit down on the couch here and let me show you what I'm talking about. My ancestors were doing horizontal boring long before those humans even thought of the concept. Years ago, many utilities were located above ground where everyone could see them and knew exactly where they were, and that was the problem. Over time, more and more lines were added: electrical, cable, TV, telephone. Nowadays, many of these different types of utility lines are being installed underground, and that's where potentially very dangerous problems exist. To help accurately identify each utility, a color-coded system is used, and typically, each utility is buried at its own specific depth, in theory. So, whether you plan to excavate using open-cut or trenchless construction methods, your first step is to call your one-call system. Workmen will come out and identify basic utilities, marking their whereabouts with color-coded flags or paint. Remember, though, utility locating is an imperfect science. Couple that with the fact that over time, underground utilities often shift in the ground as a result of environmental conditions.
So phone one call, then to work I go?
No. There's much more to it than just that. Using one call is a very important step, but it's just the first step. This is especially true if you're planning to use underground technologies such as horizontal directional drilling, or HDD, as you must be very careful to use appropriate diligence and caution to ensure that you do not accidentally drill through any existing underground pipe structures.
Or even someone's house.
That's right, but gas lines are especially a concern. It's not uncommon, even for the most professional HDD contractors, to drill a new gas line through an existing sewer line, for example. Sewer service laterals should especially be addressed with caution. Unfortunately, sewer laterals are typically not part of a one-call system, and subsequently are generally not marked, making them a potential for cross-bore. Currently, many states are changing the requirements for these to be marked. Some of these changes are being made as a result of lawsuits. Well, it's not reasonable to place a requirement for marking on property owners who have legal title to the laterals. They simply do not possess the expert knowledge to address the marking of the laterals. Owners of homes and businesses will rarely have knowledge of the route of the lateral, the expertise to locate it, or the equipment to perform the locate. Therefore, the owner-operator or trailer park owner would be in the best position to perform the lateral locates. This is a serious issue that needs to be dealt with immediately in the interest of public safety. This accident waiting to happen can sit unknown for years until one day a human being faces a sewage backup problem. Instinctively, a plumber is called who might attempt to root out a sewer blockage and unknowingly cut a cross-bored gas line. The resulting gas leak could be disastrous.
No kidding!
For the future, the law needs to change to place the responsibility of marking and locating on the owner-operator of the sewer service lateral. It is not reasonable to place this important task on a private resident or contractor who would clearly not have the expertise, the equipment, or the knowledge. Municipalities, government agencies, trailer park owners, and other owner-operators are often hesitant to mark the location of laterals due to added costs. However, the bottom line is public safety. The costs are well worth the public safety benefit.
What should be done in the meantime?
If you ever have a sewer blockage in your home or building, you should first do some investigative work prior to using any mechanical methods to try to clean the line out.
How do you do that?
Well, a safe method would be to send a camera into the sewer and visually inspect the lateral to determine the cause of the blockage.
What should you do if you discover that there is a cross-bore through the sewer lateral?
You should immediately contact your local gas company provider and have their trained personnel come out to the site to fix the problem. That way, you will ensure your personal safety.
Wow, Gopher Gus, you are so wise. What are some other things that you can do to help prevent boring through existing sewers?
There are some other simple rules that can be followed when working in underground situations around sewer lines specifically. These are: open all adjacent manholes prior to work to locate depths and direction of existing lines. Ensure proper barricading is in place, and send a camera into the sewer if possible. And plumbers in particular should remember to locate resistance breaker box, ensure all gas appliances are shut off, and inspect all drains and traps.
Wow, that's a lot to know.
Yes, it is. But that's not all you need to know. You should always plan for the worst and be ready to take positive action should you cut an underground utility. Now, the exact action required depends on what type of utility you compromise. Some of the common ones are natural gas lines, electrical lines, water and sewer lines, and communication lines. As we've discussed, natural gas is extra serious, so always be alert to sounds, sights, and smells. If you do smell natural gas, take action. Stop construction immediately. Plug clean-out opening. Eliminate all possible ignition sources. Evacuate. Call 911 and call the gas utility company. If you do cut an electrical, clear the area of people. Call 911. Contact the electric company and do not move equipment until an electrical expert has deemed it safe to do so. Remember, cutting an electrical line is serious stuff too. The shock could kill you. Cutting communication lines, while not intrinsically dangerous, can be deadly. Traffic lights going out, critical services blacking out, and the like can lead to dangerous situations in a hurry. More and more fiber optic lines are being installed into buildings these days, so if you cut a fiber optic cable, make sure you never look directly at the cut. It can cause great damage to your eyes. Lastly, cutting a water or sewer line can be serious, and the resulting flooding can be devastating to property owners. So make sure all the normal precautions are enacted. So that's a bit of education on the various underground utilities, how to avoid corrupting one, and what actions to take if you do.
Holy cow, that's a lot of good information. Anything else I should know?
Yes, there are methods available that owner-operators could use for locating utilities such as sewer laterals. Keep in mind the technology is on your side. Utility location and mapping devices are continually being improved upon. Some of these technologies are ground-penetrating radar utility locator carts. In certain circumstances, GPR can sometimes be used to quite successfully aid in the identification of underground utilities. Electromagnetic locator wands. EM wands can also act as an excellent locating device and continue to become more accurate. These can very inexpensively detect marker balls, discs, or trace wires. In-pipe mapping, as carried on utility robots and other emerging methods of locating. Also, check out the local municipality to see if they have maps. Some have even begun 3D mapping of utilities. This is a new technology and can be very useful in helping you to locate existing utilities. If the lateral or utility is marked, then the contractor should take responsibility for verifying its location. One method is to expose the existing utility using a soft dig technique such as vacuum excavation. That way, you can physically determine the utility's exact depth and orientation.
Thanks for all the information, Gopher Gus. It will make me a better and safer digger.
Yes, it will. Hitting underground utilities is dangerous business. So remember to take all the necessary precautions to avoid cutting a utility and work to advance our laws to keep up with the technology. Working around utilities is a major responsibility. Remember to make sure you know what's down below. Thank you for viewing this video.